All right, a movie about the Jesus Revolution in the 1970s. Is this movie worth watching? Let's talk about it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of Jesus Revolution, the newest film from directors John Erwin and Brent McCorkle. So, Jesus Revolution is a film that is about the kind of Jesus movement or the Jesus freaks movement that happened in the 1970s and 1960s and so on and so forth. It's a story about an individual who became kind of like the spokesperson or the leader of that movement. And on top of that, it also deals with a pastor as well as a young cadet for, a military school. And it kind of shows kind of the spiritual awakening that these individuals had as this movement and revolution started happening because of this one individual played by Jonathan Roumie, who plays Lonnie Frisbee, who was a real life person when he met Chuck Smith, who's played by Kelsey. And it shows how all these people kind of group together on the belief of God and the belief of, passionality towards people and stuff like that, and how it transferred and, kind of transformed the way religion and Christianity is used today in the worst and best possible scenarios. So think about it what you will. So when it comes to faith-based movies, I just have to say I'm not what you would call the most faith-based individual. I actually don't really kind of follow any religious aspects, whether it be Christianity or Catholicism or Judaism or any of those faith-based things. I've never really been big on that kind of thing, but these movies seem to have a lot of heart to them. So I went to see American Underdog, which was one of the director's movies, and I thought it was good, but I thought it could have dug deeper into, the nature of the religion, how the darkness that it can contain and, the lightness it can contain. It felt like it was just doing like surface level scratching, I guess you could say. But I saw the trailer for this and I knew what I was going to get myself into when I saw it. I knew it was going to be very pro-religion. I know it was going to be very much a look into this Jesus freak culture that, came up in the early 70s. And I knew it was going to, follow a certain style and substance to what it was trying to preach. And so I kind of was, prepping myself, thanks to Lionsgate for allowing me to see this early, but I was prepping myself to see, kind of knew what I was going to get myself into. And so with that said, for my honest review, like American Underdog, I think the story's fascinating. I think it's interesting. It is not my cup of tea when it's trying to preach, but I think it's a movie that has its heart on its sleeve and it's wears it very well. And I think it's a very positive movie. I just don't think it digs deep enough into the subset of this culture. It kind of scratches the surface of Chuck Smith and Lonnie Frisbee. Yeah, there's a couple moments where it gets a little dark, but it never goes below making you really think about this culture and this idea, like, taking this like idea of this, movement in the 1970s that became huge and very influential. I don't feel that it does a very good job of doing that. I think it's too focused on, constantly going this, Christ this, God this, that it never gets into the nuts and bolts of what it needs to do. It doesn't mean that it doesn't try. I feel like sometimes the guidance of what it's trying to do is more focused on one specific set than going into another set, because there is oppositions. There is people that were against this, which I would love to see kind of go in opposition. It does play in a little bit in this movie, but it's never fully realized and never fully kind of goes for it. And that's the problem of a lot of these movies, is they're not willing to take a lot of chances. They're so focused on just the kind of the meaning and logic and kind of its messaging that it doesn't kind of fully embrace the actual movie quality that it could really go for. And this is a movie that could do a lot and say a lot, and it does, but it doesn't go far enough to me personally. I think Jonathan Roumie, who plays Lonnie, I think Kelsey Grammer, who has come into a part of his career where he just doesn't care, so he just does whatever. I think they do a good job. I think Courtney and I think Anna Grace Barlow do a pretty decent job for this movie. But once again, it's a movie that feels like it could be so much more than what it's trying to do. And maybe that's not their purpose. Maybe they have what they want and what they want to put out there, the directors and writers. But I think if you have the cast that you have and you have the look that you have and the ideas that you have, I think that you could do so much more with this film that it doesn't do. It's just in the end, I think it's more, I want more out of these types of movies than what I'm getting. Even with me not being a very faith-based individual, I still think that these movies could be very, very interesting. They just don't dig deep enough, is what to be fairly honest, is what I really want. I mean, I love all kinds of movies. I don't care if they're Westerns. I don't care if they're horror films. I don't care if they're faith-based movies. I think a movie and a story is a story in a movie. I think it, you know, its purpose is to teach you a story, to teach you a movie. And if it does it really well, then I'm going to watch it and I'm going to enjoy it. And it's not that I enjoy this movie. I guess I expect more. Now, with that said, this isn't like to the far, you know, reaches that, you know, of course, the Left Behind series does. This is more kind of leaning one direction and telling that story, but allowing it to still try and be a movie instead of just being a message movie. But it still has messages behind it. So I think in the end, this is not a really long review, but I think in the end, it's a beautifully shot movie. It has decent acting in it. It's a movie with a you know, a very positive message. I just wish it would have, like I said, once again, dug deeper into these characters, made it a little more dark than, you know, what is given. And, you know, if you like faith-based movies or you like movies that have, you know, positive messages, I guess you will enjoy this movie. I'm not saying you won't. I just, when it comes to my wanting of films, I want a little bit more than what I got here. So overall, Jesus Revolution, still an entertaining movie, just needs a little more punch to it. So with that said, that's going to do it. That's going to be my take on this film, Jesus Revolution. Premieres in theaters very, very soon. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Comments below. Let me know what you think of this movie when you see it. Did you like it? Did you like it overall? Did you want more out of it? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell top to find what's coming next. If you like the video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.